Appreciate the inside story.
Thanks.
Long before most people had even heard of the internet, there was a need for cybersecurity, and the first computer virus was reported in 1998. Just over 30 years later, cybercrime is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and no one is immune. Carolina Impact's Jason Terzis shows us how some local governments were attacked and what they're doing to prevent it from happening again.
The Wild Wild West bank robbery, played out countless times in the movies and in real life. The bad guys come in, shoot up the place, and get out of town on horseback with all the money.
On your horses, men, get out!
The modern-day version of the Western bank robbery, the cybersecurity attack. It may not have the guns or horses, but the end result is the same, a robbery.
This is one of the largest data breaches in history.
With just about everyone and everything connected online, stealing passwords, personal information, and money is big business, with hacking groups employing highly trained developers who are constantly innovating new attacks.
Yesterday's espionage stories are now today's cybersecurity stories, and things that were once spy movies are now actually being done against companies daily.
Locally, Atrium Health's billing provider was hacked in November, affecting 2.5 million patients. Just over a year ago, Mecklenburg County fell victim, with a foreign-based hacker gaining access to an employee's computer login.
It was a phishing email. It looked like it was an employee email going to another employee, and they clicked on it, and that allowed the hackers to be able to get in.
That attack knocked 51 servers offline, causing widespread outages across the county's systems.
Your first instinct is, it is a little scary because you don't really understand sort of the depth and the scope of what the problem is. All you know is that, bad guys have gotten in there and they're holding your information for ransom.
The county acted quickly, taking all of its systems down.
So we had the honor to work with them on the forensics to figure out, before they started doing recovery, were the bad guys still in the network? Where were they? What was the point of intrusions?
We had to look at all of our servers to determine which ones had been compromised, and then we had to actually clean those servers and then put all those applications back online.
The hackers demanded 2 Bitcoin, roughly the equivalent of $23,000.
We talked to Homeland Security, the FBI, the Secret Service. We talked to Bank of America, a lot of our other corporate partners in town, and really try to get a sense of, what they would do if they were us. And unilaterally, everybody told us, don't pay.
The county refused to pay the ransom, a decision even applauded by the New York Times. Fortunately for the county, the decision was made easier by the fact it had a good backup system.
Our ability to be able to take our backups and restore our systems was really one of the driving decision-making factors that we had.
This county should be incredibly proud about the fact that criminals were not paid to get the systems back.
A little over a month later, a similar situation played out at the Charlotte Housing Authority.
We fell victim to a phishing attack. A former employee of ours received an email from someone she thought was internal, asking for W-2s. Actually, the email mimicked our CEO's email.
The W-2 forms were mistakenly sent out, containing employee social security numbers, addresses, and salary information.
It was about a couple hundred employees who were impacted. Our residents were never impacted. All of our employees, past and present, who were impacted got LifeLock for 2 years.
Government agencies aren't the only ones targeted. Small businesses make up 43% of cyber attacks. One of those recently affected was Southern Fried Chicks, an online clothing boutique based out of Fort Mill. With over 1.5 million Facebook followers and another 250,000 on Instagram, they became a prime target for hackers.
Liz, who runs Southern Fried Chicks, called me the Friday before Black Friday. That is an incredible time of year for retailers, especially online retailers. Hackers had taken over her social media accounts, and they were posting click-through porn.
Within 2 days after the takeover, Southern Fried Chicks lost over 50,000 Facebook followers and $100,000 in potential sales. Fortunately, their business bounced back. But that's not always the case, as 60% of small businesses go out of business within 6 months of a cyber attack. So what's changed, and how can companies be more vigilant? Mecklenburg County spent over $7 million on security upgrades last year alone.
We're, upgrading our entire network. We're buying a lot of additional tools that will help us be able to identify intrusions more effectively and really understand sort of if they get in, where are they and what are they doing.
With over 90% of cyber attacks starting with a phishing email, the county is doing what it can to keep employees from getting tricked.
We've really restricted the kind of websites our employees can go to. We're not allowed to access our home email from the office anymore. We've implemented multi-factor authentication so that if you're outside and you want to access something internally, you have to go through a couple of steps in order to make that happen.
The Charlotte Housing Authority is taking similar measures.
If there's an outside email that comes in, all of our employees, we have a big yellow banner when it comes in that says this is an outside email. Be aware.
The CHA also now requires all employees to undergo extensive cybersecurity training.
We also have encrypted emails now if there's some personal information, so that we check personal information. If you don't have the password for that encrypted email, you can't have access to that information.
Keeping up with the latest technology is a must in the world of cybersecurity, and the only way to stay ahead.
Hackers continue to find ways to get in. As much as we try to keep them out, I think it's going to be an ongoing battle.
We're learning just to be better, to be smarter, to be wiser, to communicate more with our employees, and also just to invest in those systems. It's critical.
The days of the Wild Wild West shootout may be long gone, but the battles in the new frontier of cybersecurity are here for the foreseeable future. For Carolina Impact, I'm Jason Terzis reporting.
Thanks so much, Jason. Industry insiders say always make sure websites you visit are reputable, especially with online banking. Remember to change passwords frequently, keeping them long, strong, and unique. And always keep an eye out for questionable emails. If they look suspicious, chances are they are. Well,